track crew does a really good job of prepping the track, but not making it smooth. They're still leaving all the bumps in. This sweeper down here, before our final turn, it looks like a sideways 10 Commandments coming through here. There are some massive bumps. Early on in the week in practice, these kids were ripping around the sweeper, sitting down, foot out, completely ripping this thing like a turn, and now all the riders are feet on the pegs, lifting their front end up, riding it like a wave through the sweeper. So it's amazing how much the track has changed throughout the week, especially after the rain we had today early on in the morning. This thing is a complete rut fest out there. But we are coming close to ending our Friday, our first day of crowning champions. They are off. 85 9-12 class. It looks like we got KTM with the whole shot. I believe that is most likely Matthew Leblanc. So Leblanc getting out front early in this one, trying to set the pace. Leblanc just got done winning a championship earlier on today and beating Jett Reynolds out in that one, winning the final moto and holding up that #1 plate. So Matthew Leblanc hoping to keep that streak alive at this point. Put his KTM out front and keep it out front. But it looks like Ryder D, I can always tell Ryder D's style. He's that little guy out there on the 99 Kawasaki. He may be a little guy, but he's got a huge heart, a ton of fight in this kid. Ryder D Francisco, really outgoing, blonde-haired Southern California surf kid out there going for it at the ranch every single time he's on the track. He's got a 2-3 going into this one. So he's going to want to try to put himself in front of Matthew LeBlanc. That way he can try to get away from Jett Reynolds as fast as possible. Jett Reynolds, another kid out of Bakersfield, California. Both of those kids only living about 5 miles down the street from each other. So Ryder D and Jett Reynolds spending a lot of time together riding and trading. But at one point, the student has to become the teacher, and that's what Ryder D is trying to do out there to Jett Reynolds.
Yeah, you've been mentioning it all week. DiFrancesco is always, or DiFrancesco, I believe it is always in a battle out here at Loretta's, and there's a couple reasons for that. Like, he's actually the younger man in this class. He can come back and race this class next year. So when you're able to run up front with kids that are essentially a year older than you, it's impressive, but you're going to have a fight on your hands, and that's what he's dealing with right now. He's been good in this class. Obviously, Jett Reynolds has been the favorite. It is amazing how quickly things can turn. Jett Reynolds, a darn machine.
You know, I was talking with Ryder's father, Randy, last night at the Sidewinder event Moto Playground put on, and I said the same thing. I was like, Ryder always seems to be in some hard-fought battle to win whatever championship he is in. He is never taking it easy, and you know, he had mentioned that he gets to ride and train a lot with Jett Reynolds, and he's learning a ton from him. And that's one thing I mentioned. I go, you know, Jett, he is just never really had to fight super hard for him because he's been that much better. And I feel like once you get up into the pro ranks, learning how to battle is a huge thing because there's always going to be somebody to battle with. And I tell you what, if there's one advantage that Ryder D Francisco has over Jett Reynolds, and that is only one advantage because Jett Reynolds has been unstoppable. Yeah. That is knowing how to put up a fight.
Yeah, he's digging for it right now because both of them are trying to work their way up to Matt LeBlanc. Matt LeBlanc really rallying here late in the week. Ended up stealing that title earlier today when Jett Reynolds had problems. He was getting faster as the week went on, and LeBlanc doing it here again, a 5th in Moto 1, a 2nd in Moto 2, and now leading. And we knew this one was going to be interesting, setting up a 3-rider shootout between these riders, and Jett Reynolds not moving up as quickly as we thought he would. He is still in the 4th place spot. That'd be enough to win the title, but you don't normally see him back there.
Yeah, we're going to kind of see what Jett Reynolds is made out of in this moto because he
probably
is not,
DNA and cells. And
yeah, most likely a lot of skin tissue, muscle,
tissue, bone. Yep.
A lot of blood.
Yeah, that's what he's made out of. Just helping you out.
But anyways, let's get back on top.
Oh, sorry, okay. I thought it was a legit
around.
question. I thought there was a real question.
No, I mean, that's
like,
just
Jimmy,
like,
do you not know anything about biology whatsoever?
Well, I mean, I thought Mike Brown was going to win the Horizon Award there for a while.
But I heard a new award. A new award?
Yep. Oh, no, he's winning the Sunset
Award. Okay.
He is falling down, going down. He's already reached the top.
Yes.
He was high noon about 40 years ago. And now he's going down. Sunset Award going out to Mike Brown. But no, we're going to see what Jett Reynolds is made out of, because he lost his first championship ever at the ranch today. And he's going to try to rebound back. But right now, with a 1-1-3 score, he would still take the championship here at the ranch. So right now, he's sitting first place overall if it were to end right now. But Ryder DeFrancisco, if he can track down Matthew LeBlanc, that will give him the advantage, I believe, over Jett Reynolds. But Jett Reynolds is not done moving forward, I guarantee you, Weege.
Well, I got to say, though, the lap times, 2:09s for both LeBlanc and DeFrancisco, and a 2:10 for Reynolds. They were actually a little quicker the last time around. And there's about a 4-second gap. You can see these two, the leaders, the 32 and the 99, they are closer to each other. There is Jett Reynolds at the top, working his way through the 10 commandments. But how about Matt LeBlanc? What a rally here late in the week, coming out of the swamps of Louisiana. How you doing? Matt LeBlanc is doing quite well on that Orange Brigade KTM ride, trying to hold off the two Team Green Kawasaki superstars. DeFrancisco, I think he's just ever so slightly closed up on this lap. Look at the times the last time around. Identical lap times between the leaders.
Wow, these guys are setting a good pace. It's not, none of the motos this week have we seen Matthew LeBlanc and Ryder DeFrancisco going quicker than Jett Reynolds.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can't keep this pace up. But something tells me the next time that Jett Reynolds comes around on that #1 Kawasaki, that he's going to be down further than a 2:09. But we're going to find out as they're getting around, making their way around the sweeper here. Standing up, like I said, at the beginning of the week, these guys were sitting down through this thing. Now they are forced to stand up. Matthew LeBlanc going through the final corner. He's going to go by the grandstands here in front of the finish line. Like we said before in the motos before, we got Ross, Rachel, Phoebe, and Chandler over there cheering on their buddy Matthew LeBlanc.
Chandler is hilarious, man.
Oh,
he's got some of the best one-liners ever.
A hoot.
Man, a time when he said if you went to China, they just call it food.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Always good. And, of course, that kooky Phoebe. But out front right now, still Matthew LeBlanc. So the friends are behind him, trying to propulse him to another moto victory today. He would be perfect on the day because he won earlier today to win that championship. But Ryder DeFrancisco still trying to push forward. Ryder D is actually, I believe Ryder D will have another year in this class next year.
So Jett Reynolds, this is going to be interesting in the lap time as well. So Jett Reynolds did try to step it up. He dropped down 9 to exceed, go faster than what LeBlanc and DeFrancisco had thrown down. Only one problem. LeBlanc and DeFrancisco went even faster than that. They beat their own lap times. They have now dropped into the 2:08s. So Reynolds ran a 2:10. They did a 2:09. Reynolds ran a 2:09. They went 2:08. DeFrancisco 0.2 of a second quicker than LeBlanc the last time around. They are absolutely to the stops out here, LeBlanc and DeFrancisco. Part of me has to wonder, Reynolds, he has a nice, comfortable lead in the standings. If he finishes third, the title is his no matter what happens. So I have to think that he knows he's back there in third. These guys are running an incredible race, but that math is so simple. If you tell a rider 1-1-3 gets it done and he knows he's in third place, I've got to wonder, especially the way it went for Jett Reynolds earlier, if he is just happy to be back there. Let's check in again. There's Ryder D on the 99, inching up, trying to get that gap down to about 2 seconds on LeBlanc, who's riding very well.
So they're all in the 2:09 range now, Weege. Matthew LeBlanc, Ryder DeFrancisco, and Jett Reynolds. Oh, wow, Jett Reynolds actually dropping.
Yeah.
They are putting seconds on him every single lap. Every lap, Ryder D and Matthew LeBlanc have come across the finish line. They have been going faster than Jett Reynolds in this moto.
Not what we expect, but things change in a hurry at the ranch. That's what it's all about, man. Breakthroughs can still happen. And late in the week, the gremlins have come out for Jett Reynolds. We heard it was a hole in the, not the water pump, but I believe one of the radiator hoses, I think.
Radiator hose. What I was hearing, kind of up here in the tower, it looked like the bike, he actually made it come to a stop, but I guess they're seeing back in the pit that bike did retire, so a bummer to see it go out like that, but hey, it would have been worse to see him go out with an injury. The bike can always be fixed, and in his young career, it'd be great to see him stay as healthy as possible before he moves up to the pro ranks, but Rider D showing how that 99 loves to grind his way through the field and keep pressure on Matthew Leblanc. He is relentless and will not give up and will not crack. Lap after lap, he just keeps on throwing it down and putting the pressure on Leblanc. We'll see if he can't make it any further up. Wow,
Whoa.
You see how whooped out that section is. We have the new sideways 10 Commandments over there.
Yeah, that's actually rougher now than the 10 Commandments, especially for an 85. So DeFrancesco making up 0.2 of a second enough to get it done. LeBlanc's got a big enough gap. We're 0.2. He'll take that. We're halfway through this one, 10 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. Matt LeBlanc might not get the title this time, but he's going to be happy to end the week with some Moto wins, and he did get that championship earlier today. Here we go. DeFrancesco trying to run him down. Trevor Collip is 4th, Miles Gilmore 5th, Bryce Shelley 6th, Caden Broswell 7th, Justin Allen 8th, Jaden Clow 9th, and Gavin Towers. That's your top 10. Chance Hymas, Super Chunk, struggling a bit here. He was 3 and 5 in the motos before this, but Hymas in 11th here, 3-5-11. Still might be enough to get on the podium overall. Noah Stevens 12th, Avery Long 13th, Ty Freehill 14th, and Nick Romano, not quite the week he wanted, looking at 4-7-15 scores if it ends like this. There's Jett Reynolds. What do you think, Jimmy? The math's pretty easy when you're sitting on a 1-1 and you know a third is good enough to win it. Do you think he knows where he is right now?
Yeah, but he knows where he's at. I guarantee he's still trying to push his way forward, though. Because, I mean, he's still got a 21-second lead. You got to think that he's just kind of thinking, all right, maybe I don't want to make any crazy mistakes, but let's face it, Weech, he hasn't had to go out of control to win any of these motos before, and it's not like he's barely inching up. He is losing time to Matthew LeBlanc.
Oh, yeah.
3 seconds a lap that last time around. Ryder DeFrancesco dropped his time. He's not able to hold the pace that LeBlanc is throwing down that last lap around. So LeBlanc going 3 seconds a lap quicker than anybody else in the track.
Yeah, absolutely. So LeBlanc stretching it out now, 5.3 seconds. This moto win could be his. 12 minutes into it now, a 20-minute moto. This is Jett Reynolds on the number 1. Now, you know you're a bad dude if you run the number 1 plate in a 85 class, because that means a year ago, you were beating kids a year older than you. Basically, you expect riders to put in their best run in their last year in the class when they're 12 or 13 years old. He was able to beat riders a year older than him last season and still have eligibility left in 85 9-12.
You know, Ryder DeFrancesco, if he were to have some magic happen here, he could race this class the next year after winning it. But obviously, Jett Reynolds right now looking like he is going to go 2 in a row in this class. But Ryder DeFrancesco is a year younger than Matthew LeBlanc and Jett Reynolds.
Right.
So Ryder D, the pup in this class, but he's still showing some serious bark out there. Let's see what the lap times are this time around. And LeBlanc still staying below a 210 at a 209.8.
Man.
And everybody else up in that 212 range or higher. Wow, LeBlanc still keeping the pace out there on the 32. Maybe it's all he needed, Weege, was that moto win, holding up that number 1 plate, and now he feels like he has the confidence to take on Jett Reynolds.
Take this shot. Yeah, look at that. The 32 of Matt LeBlanc on fire right now. And just checking out, he stretched the lead up to 8 seconds. So DeFrancesco dug deep. He got it down from about 3.5 to 2.5 seconds. But these last 2 laps, LeBlanc has basically kept his lap time steady. DeFrancesco going back into the 212s has lost a ton of ground. So pretty impressive what Matt LeBlanc has been able to do coming out of the swamps of Louisiana. I know on television he usually lives in an apartment there with Chandler. So surprising. Also hosting the Top Gear in the UK in his spare time. I'm amazed that LeBlanc is able to do that. Top Gear, he's shown he can drive. well as he can ride. Probably not even old enough to have a driver's license, Matt LeBlanc.
Crazy.
But,
you know, he does get by with a little help from his friends. And he's out there right now laying waste to the competition. These last 2 laps, LeBlanc has gapped out a nice, comfy lead. It was 2 seconds on lap 4. Now we're in lap 6, and he is at an 8-second lead. So he is just piling onto that. But look on the fast lap times there, Weege. Who do we see with the fastest time? The pup, Ryder DeFrancisco, with a 2:08.6.
And we talk a lot about the ages in this class, but I can't state enough how important that is and how the team managers pay attention to such things. Taking my picture with somebody else's phone, brilliant. Somebody found a cell phone and brought it up to us here. That has a Slackaware sticker on the back. If you get a black smartphone with a Slackaware sticker on the back, and as a little memento, we are taking pictures of ourselves on that phone in the announcer's tower. So a little bonus for you. The team managers out here, they know the ages of the riders. Now, as they get to be around 16, 17 years old, doesn't really make a big difference. Anything before that, it's pretty sizable, the difference there can be between 11 and 12. That's why Jett Reynolds had so much buzz the last couple of years, because it didn't matter if he was a young or old rider in the class. 4 years in a row, he swept all of his divisions. Rider D, do I see him fist pumping right there? Well, either way, Jett Reynolds in control of the championship with a 1-1-3. DeFrancisco will finish second if it ends like this with a 2-3-2. And Matt LeBlanc, 5-2-1. That will probably be third overall. Here's the 99. DeFrancisco got that Jimmy John sponsorship. Actually represented his agency. Yes, he has an agent. Oh, the rider down there. That is a lap rider. That is not the leader, LeBlanc. Yes, DeFrancisco has an agent. The agency that represents him is actually Kevin Harvick, Inc. That is the NASCAR champion, Kevin Harvick. And pretty funny, so Harvick represents himself, a host of UFC fighters, and Ryder DeFrancisco. Those are his clients. And the connection is kind of bizarre, but Kevin Harvick is from Bakersfield, California. So I'm assuming that's part of the connection there. And yes, Jimmy John's one of the primary sponsors for the NASCAR champion, Kevin Harvick. So he is the agent for DeFrancisco. Now we're back to our leader, 32 of LeBlanc. Takes a look over his shoulder, and he has got to be smiling underneath that helmet. He had both the Kawasaki riders putting the heat on, and he was able to shake them both.
I mean, we just really could be the swing that needed to happen here, because Jett Reynolds has been this unstoppable force now for years, and it seems to be like guys like LeBlanc have always just been kind of right there on the edge. Having a day like today to end on and build your confidence when you go back home and start training again for probably the next national they're going to be hitting up, is I'm sure Mini O's down there in Florida, one of those races, just kind of give them that little confidence builder. But I tell you what, LeBlanc, he's on his last lap now, but he is a bigger kid.
Yeah, he is.
I think we're going to see him on that 125 two-stroke probably in the near future. But there's one person we're not going to see on a 125 for a long time, and that is our little guy out there, Ryder D. He was fist pumping last time around. Dad probably down there in the mechanics area cheering him on. Randy DeFrancisco just loves coming to the races and watching his son do battle. They have such a fun time together. Great father and son relationship. You got to know Randy is completely pumped on how his son's been riding all week. And it looks like he's going to end this weekend with a second overall in this one. Matthew LeBlanc, even though he's going to take this final lap and win this moto, that is still only going to be good enough for a third overall. But at the end of the day, I guarantee you he would rather take that moto win than move up to the second place overall. Moto win is going to be awesome, and he's going to be able to hang another gold piece around his neck before he heads home. So this is going to conclude the weekend for Matthew LeBlanc, and what a day to end it on. Going 1-1 today. in this class can have a 5.21 for third overall. In his other class, had a big shakeup in the final moto and actually took the overall. So he's going to go home with a first in one class, a third in the other. Congratulations, Matthew Leblanc, on another moto win as he heads down to the podium. And there's Jett Reynolds. He's got the #1 plate on his bike, and it is going to stay on his bike. Jett Reynolds doing it once again out here at the ranch. So I believe that is going to be 7 titles now for Jett Reynolds as he crosses the finish line. That's got to be a big sigh of relief, especially after having that bike break in the final moto. But let's go down to the Race Tech podium. Oh wait, hold on. We got a all right, we got the dunk tank up here. All right, we got the Deegan boys up here doing it right. Hayden taking that 65cc victory, and now he's getting ready to go in the duck tank. We were talking about it up here. I think Daxton's going to be down there ready to throw balls at you, try to get back for that moto win you stole. But we got Brian up here. Tell us what you got going on out down at the dunk tank before we go down to the podium.
Yeah, for sure. We're heading over to the Lucas Oil dunk tank, trying to raise some more money for, the Brett Downey Foundation, which I think is just awesome.
And we're down here on the podium. I love it. I see the shirts. How you doing? The Raging Cajun. Oh, we like it. Let's get some music going here for Matt LeBlanc. Rodney? Oh, yeah, I'll be there for you. Matt LeBlanc taking the moto win and the Bell Helmets Hole Shot Award. Let's hear it for him. That is awesome. Get that whole shot check one more time, my friend. Awesome. Man, you got that title earlier today. What kind of confidence did that give you? Because that was an awesome ride.
It gave me pretty good confidence boost. Just got the whole shot, picked good fast lines. Ryder was on me for a little bit, and after that, just put my head down and started to pull away and got the win.
What does it mean to have 2 other fast guys in this class on you and to be able to pull away?
It feels really good to know that I can be a little bit faster than them and get on the top box.
Who do you want to thank, man?
Lord Jesus Christ, my mom, my dad, KTM, VO2 Performance, Orange Brigade, JM Racing, Thor, Scott, Bell, FMF, Alpine Stars, and I also forgot thanks.
There it is once again, your moto winner, Matt LeBlanc. Drop the music, Rodney. Good week for Matt LeBlanc. Comes up with the title earlier today. Let's get our second place finisher on up, and then we'll work on bringing the #1 machine to the podium as well to crown our champion. We'll bring up Ryder D first, taking second. Over here, Ryder. Man, he was digging hard this whole moto. He ends up second. Ryder D Francesco. Well, you certainly tried hard, man. You were wide open. Matt got away a little bit, but you gave it a great effort.
Yeah, I got off to a great start. My Dunlop tires were hooking up good. Got like a 3rd place start. Just tried to go up to the front as quick as I can, and really wanted that championship. But I had a 3rd in that last moto. So just thanks to all my sponsors: Monster Energy Team again, Kawasaki, Pro Circuit, Jimmy Johns, Scott, 60 Helmets, Dunlop, Troy Designs, Alpine Stars, Renthal. My manager came out to watch me, and he does everything for me. So thank you to all my sponsors, and it's got to a great ride.
There you go. Let's hear it for Ryder D Francesco, 2nd place. Well, one title got away, but this one he held on with the vice grips. He was not going to let it happen again. Going to get a lot of hardware for this one. His 9th career championship here at Loretta Lynn's Ranch. Not bad for a 13-year-old. A bronze medal in the Moto, that's pretty good, but he wants more than that. What he wants is the title, and what he gets is a gold championship helmet from Bell Helmets, and he gets the shield representing the championship in 85 9-12. Let's hear it for Jett Reynolds. Well, I don't want to remind you, but you got to take us back to what happened a couple hours ago. That title slipped away. What happened there?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't fun, but I crashed on the start, and I think I hit a kid's foot peg on the radiator hose, and fortunately it busted. And I made it through over halfway of the Moto 2 laps ago. Was in second, had the championship all wrapped up, and it just quit. It blew up, but Kawasaki got my bike back together.
Going into this Moto, did that add a little pressure? Were you a little more nervous knowing, stuff can happen?
No, I didn't really care. I'm just wanting to get the day over with, and I'm pumped I got this championship and ended the day good.
Did you know that third was good enough to get it done?
Yeah.
So when you're in third, were you just like, I'm good?
Yeah, I was doing math in my head, and my mechanic was telling me first overall, and thank you.
Who do you want to thank, Jett?
I would like to thank Monson G. Poster at Kawasaki, my brother Doug and Decker over at Kawasaki for building my bike, putting a new motor within 45 minutes. It was just unbelievable. And Oakley Goggles, South the Border Mex, Henson Racing, Alpine Star Gear, Blake from Alpine Stars, Bell Helmets, my mom and dad, my brother, just everyone I forgot. Thank you.
There it is, folks. Career title number 9 for Jett Reynolds.
All I do is win, 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 no matter
Give me the AMA number 1 plate from Kip Bigelow. He's your 85 9-12 champion for the 2nd straight year. Jett Reynolds. Send it back up.